कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा वसुदेवं सुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् हरि ओम कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्. Yes,
Hari
can
Om.
someone recollect? Can someone form a link, something that we saw, and we move ahead? Yes, please. Anybody? Anything?
Lord
Yeah.
Krishna, um, he's given us all the opposites. He's inside, outside. He's in
Wow.
everything, negative, positive,
Okay.
and he resides in everyone's heart, all living things, all
Yeah.
sentient beings.
Okay. Right. Shashiji has given us the link. The concept of the Brahman, of the Purusha, or the Purusha of the Puranas, or the ancient supreme one that is described in the Veda. Krishna gave us an introduction to the kingdom of Brahma Vidya. So, what is the Brahman? The Brahman is the principle of divinity that is beyond existence and non existence, that is eternal, that is perfect, that is transcendent also, that is mobile also and immobile also, that is inside also and outside also. Sri Aurobindo has written a Sanskrit text which is called Sri Aurobindo's Upanishad. Of course, Sri Aurobindo didn't write that name, that was put by the Sanskrit Karyalaya. He had not given any name or title for it, but that begins with the definition of Brahman. Om ekameva dvitiyam brahma sadasada rupam sad asat atitam nanyat kinchit asti trikaladrutam trikalatitam sarvam. What is this? This is something which is going beyond the concept of time, beyond the concept of what is existence and non-existence. That is the Brahman. So Krishna, for some reason, has introduced us to this concept of the Brahman, and then the Brahman is eternal. Brahman is not not participating in everything because he is in this, what we can say, a kind of an inertial stillness of universality. He is present, but there is an active principle of the Brahman, which is participating in everyday events, in every little moments, and probably that is the driving factor in the Bholoka of the Brahman. And the location of that is present in the heart of every living being. That is present, is what Krishna is telling. So we see two components. One is an active part component, and another is a component of the Brahman that is eternal, which is silent, which is detached, which is in a state of the highest consciousness. Even the active participant is the highest consciousness, yet it is playing a role. That is why people make a distinction between the Jivatman and the Paramatman. They give the names for that Brahman. The Paramatman or the Supreme Atman, that is the ultimate one, who is like a, what, how do we call it? Like a supreme motherboard of all the experiences of every living being. Whereas the
Godhead.
Jivatman, yes, ji? A Godhead, okay, yes. Godheads, but there are so many Godheads, and yet this is the one who is the God of the Godheads. So this is one supreme, that is the Paramatman. And yet inside all of us, he is that active principle. It is like a, I had a very nice experience of trying to talk Shervinda's Upanishad in Oral to a bunch of school children. I was not knowing that school children are going to be present, and so it was very challenging. So the way I told them was about ice cream. You have a dip ice cream, isn't it? When the ice cream is dipped, so on the surface there is one small coating, and the inner coating is something else. It is like that. The Jivatman is getting a small coating of experiences. The Taittiriya Upanishad talks about koshas, multiple koshas, layers of coatings, like multi-layered ice creams. We have different koshas, pancha kosha, they say. But anyway, that is not our subject at this moment. We are recognizing this presence. of a divinity in this world also. That is something which Krishna has taught. Let us continue into the 18th shloka. इति क्षेत्रं तथा ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं चोक्तं समासतः मद्भक्त एतत् विज्ञाय मद्भावा योपपद्यते. Thus the realm of the field I have surmised and shown, and also what is knowledge and what is to be known. When my devotees can know this and realize, then into their natures, my divinity, they materialize. Why was Krishna telling us after teaching about the bhakti, or why was he talking about different ways of becoming the Kshetrajna? It is simple here. Krishna says, I have told you about the field. I have surmised what are the divisions of the field. What is the knowledge? What knowledge you have to gain? That knowledge which comes from the poise, that supreme knowledge. What is it that is to be known? And he says, when the devotees can understand this, when they can know this, when they can realize this, then into the nature, into their natures, my divinity, they materialize. My question is, what can we infer from this? Materializing divinity in nature, this very concept. Anybody?
To have all the qualities he's described, for us to imbibe them and become them, then
Okay.
that is the full divinity.
Okay, so those qualities which are there, those are, we manifest them, that is materializing the divinities, is what Shashimaji is saying. Anything else? Anybody else would like to add? More about how do I materialize divinity in my life?
To know the negative side.
Okay,
Sorry, carry
Shashiji,
on.
yeah, okay, Vajumaji, then I'll come to Shashimaji.
The,
Yes, please.
the devotee is absorbed in me.
Hmm? Okay,
The
okay.
devotee is
Yes, Ji.
absorbed in me.
Right, Ji. So, when what happens then in that? When there's something about materializing in nature, no? Divinity is being something like descending or something. It is entering into the nature. Or when a devotee is able to understand this, he is able to bring about that transformation. How do we recognize this in our everyday life?
To know
What?
that God exists in every living, breathing thing, in all creation,
Okay.
to
Say
be
for instance,
aware,
yeah.
not just to know, but to be aware at all times.
Okay. Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yes. Pankaj is adding something. Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So to realize divinity in material world, which we
Yeah.
can see with our own regular
Yes, sir.
eyes,
Yes, sir.
that's what probably we are looking for here. So I would go with the sunlight, air, happiness, you know,
Okay.
all these things we can think of the divine presence in and around us in day-to-day life.
Okay. Yes. And there is some interesting aspect of transformation. Excuse me. Transformation of material nature. Material nature only can become divine. A human living in ordinary life can start living what we call a life divine. Our home can become Vrindavan. I
Temple,
mean, how
yeah.
beautiful that would be. How beautiful if we can just transform. And the simplest way we can transform our experience of life is one by becoming ourselves divine, by transforming our own natures, whatever shortcomings we have. And subsequently, the experience that we will get after transforming will not be an ordinary experience. If we see in the very start of this adhyay, Krishna talked about in the shloka number 5 about what are the different vibhagas of the kshetra. mana, buddhi, ahankar, there is also something called avyakta. So, what is not manifest? A divinity which is present around us. We don't realize it. Maybe I am actually surrounded by that divinity because I don't understand it. I'm not able to experience or I'm not able to use that divinity to transform myself. But it is available. So, if you become the Kshetrajna, become conscious, as like Pankaj ji shared, when if you really start experiencing the divine in the sun, light, divine in the atmosphere around you, I don't think we will find petty reasons to get cranky or anything, isn't it? Nobody will be able to move us from that state of understanding. We would be slightly out of the regular, mundane, lower natures. Instead, we will slowly elevate ourselves. Yes, Hashimaji? Yes, please. You were saying something?
I just wanted to remark because you mentioned the sun
Okay.
and how happy we feel, etc. I think most people, at least in the Western hemisphere, when the sun is out, it does bring a change into one's being at all levels. You know, you feel more alive, you feel happier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. So this aspect of transforming is something which is a very integral part of sadhana, transforming our nature and transforming a life, which is an ordinary life, into a divine life. The sadhak will be very easily able to do that. That is what Krishna is saying. Sri Aurobindo has written a very beautiful seminal work called The Life Divine that is worth reading to understand some of the principles there. Anyway, let us continue. 19th shloka. Prakritim purusham chaiva vidyanadi ubhavapi vikaranshcha gunanshchaiva vidhi prakriti sambhavan. Prakriti is the counterpart of the one being supernal. Like him, she too is immaculate and eternal. Within her, within her only originate all of nature's qualities, but also arising from her are the many deformities. So Krishna is now introducing us to the concept of Prakriti. We saw something about Purusha, the supreme divine, the Parabrahma, that Purusha. Well, Purusha is not alone. He has a partner, he has a consort. Along with Purusha, there is Prakriti. So the concept of Prakriti is very interesting, and this is also one of the first concepts of divine feminine ever conceived in the world. At a time when most of the world was still in the dark ages, here they had understood the concept of a divine feminine, the counterpart of the Purusha. Let us see what Krishna has to say. She is the counterpart of the one being supernal, like a collaborator of that supreme divine. Like him, she too is immaculate and eternal, meaning Prakriti is eternal. We are in Prakriti, but we are not having the full eternity. We are eternal nature. We are having what we call the Shara Swabhava of human existence. It is Shara, but Prakriti is Akshara. She is also eternal, just like the Purusha. Within her originate all of nature's qualities, all the qualities which we call the gunas of nature are present inside of her, but also arising from her are many deformities. This is one interesting aspect. So deformities are also present arising out of Prakriti. Let us see how the deformities are arising and what is its effect. कार्य कारण कर्तृत्वे हेतु प्रकृतिरुच्यते पुरुषः सुख दुःखानां भोक्तृत्वे हेतुरुच्यते. The domino of cause and effect is her procreation, the experiences of individual consciousness, her creation. And the one supreme being, the Purusha, does but enjoy, experiencing both pleasure and pain with joy. Excuse me. Yes. So this domino of cause and effect, Karya and Karana. Sometimes we don't know why we are experiencing certain things, why things happen, but everything has a reason, whether or not we know it. Sometimes we can go back, why this happened, you can suddenly see a pattern, you can understand. Well, this entire domino of cause and effect is the creation of Prakriti, the experience of individual consciousness, the ahankar inside all of us. Each of us think we are unique, isn't it? I am different. I am unique. But the meaning of uniqueness means nobody is like that. No, that is unique. But in uniqueness also there is no uniqueness because everybody is thinking they are unique. That is a common trait which has been put inside all of us by Prakriti. Meaning, Prakriti is influencing her creation. In the previous shloka, we also saw certain deformities are also existing. They are also caused by Prakriti. So there is an interesting play of both good and bad. What is brilliant and also what is ugly. Everything is present inside of Prakriti. This creation also is a part. And the role of Prakriti is identified. How does one identify, how does one relate to it? It is like consider the Parabrahman to be a white light. So white light is perfect, isn't it? Pure. And I think in physics we must have heard of splitting of white light through the prism when we were in school. A kind of when it passes through a medium, through of the prism, the white light splits into what colors? Well, all colors. All the spectral colors that are in existence. Something like that, that Parabrahma's consciousness entered into the Bhuloka through Prakriti. But in this entering of consciousness, a differentiation of consciousness took place. So there are all types of consciousnesses there in the world, and it is like I think Maji has written Vibgyor. So like the colors of the rainbow, but here there are what is below red also, infrared also is there, and that is beyond violet also, ultraviolet. Everything has just come into existence. We are having myriads of existence. The role of Prakriti is like Prakriti can be considered to be responsible for the same. And what does the Purusha do? Purusha has nothing to do but enjoy. Everything is Ananda. Sometimes it's like when grandparents look at grandchildren. Parents are very bothered, are very much under pressure because how should this child will become like this child will become like that. But grandparents have seen their kids. Yeah, you were also exactly like this. I thought you were hopeless, but I think you didn't turn out to be that hopeless. So a kind of a detached happiness comes in. They feel that while looking at grandkids. Something of that sort is there in Parabrahma. He's always in the state of Ananda only. He's not disturbed. He is not affected by our day to day experiences. Who is affected or who is concerned? It is only Prakriti, the counterpart. It's like a lion and the lioness. Most of these documentaries which show wildlife. You see that lion's job is what? Nicely yawning and sitting and basking in the sun. The lioness has to do most of the hunting. Well, something of that we see here. Prakriti is doing everything that we experience in the world, while the Purusha is just detached and indifferent, listening, and everything is just joy and ananda. Let's continue. Purusha prakristho hi bhunte prakriti jan gunan karanam gunasangosya sadasat yoni janmasu. Immersed in her qualities, he presides. Experiencing her nature, he resides. He referring to the Purusha. His attachment to Prakriti is the sole cause of all the births in the mortal wombs of sin and good that he draws. This tandem, this combination of Prakriti and Purusha is the only reason we are having this entire universe. Purusha and Prakriti. The counterpart of Purusha is the manifesting power or the executive power of the divine. So, because of this union of Purusha and Prakriti, we are all experiencing, all living beings are experiencing this, what we call Jivana. It is like how There's a beautiful how Shiva and Shakti they perform together, isn't it? It is Shakti's energies that enter into the world and then give life to every living being. Just like that, the Prakriti is responsible. And this combination of Purusha and Prakriti brings about all living beings' existence. उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरा परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः. Situated within the physical envelope mortal, he is the one supreme indwelling Lord, immortal. He is the witness, observer, and giver of consents, nature's modes. He enjoys, upholds, and augments. So, this is the Supreme Purusha. Purusha is, how is he? He is seated within the mortal envelope, within the physical envelope. The Supreme indwelling immortal Lord is present. Isn't that a mystery? My body, I know, is so limited. It is having so, what we can say, so many constraints, so many shortcomings. And yet, Krishna says, inside of this extremely limited and finite body, the infinite, eternal, supreme Paramatman is existing, is what Krishna is saying. And that Paramatman is deciding. He is, if you see, he is enjoying it. He's upholding and he's augmenting my experiences in life. He is the witness, he is the observer, he is the giver of consents. So this is something very interesting, and it's like this is giving a characterization to the force of the divine to make it, more simple for Arjuna to understand that there is this Purusha, and the partner of Purusha is the Prakriti. Prakriti is manifesting. Purusha is the means it's like in an organization. If I were to ask you, there is a founder of an organization, and there is a CEO of the organization. Who is important?
CEO.
CEO is important. Shashimaji says, all right.
Both are
Anybody?
important.
Vinitaji says both are important. Okay. Pankaj is sharing something.
Yeah, I would say both are important.
Both are important.
Yeah, equally.
Because if there is no founder, what will be the task there for the executive officer to execute? And if the founder is there and having brilliant ideas, but not having an executive officer willing to execute those ideas, they are going to remain inert. No? They will not be manifested at all. So this is a very interesting game where nobody is greater or lesser, but both are equally important, bringing about a manifestation in the world. The creative power and the executive power of the same one divine. They are all one, but in terms of their roles, they have different roles. The Purusha is the creative spirit of the absolute Brahman, and the Prakriti is the manifesting spirit or the executive spirit. So the two are playing it together, is what Krishna is saying. Krishna goes on, he says, Ya evam veti purusham prakritim cha gunaihi saha sarvatha vartamanopi nasabhuyo bhijayate. He who knows and realizes the duality of the Supreme Purusha and Prakriti's every quality, his way of living or actions notwithstanding, that being certainly finds release from rebirth's bonding. This is again very interesting. We see Krishna to be quite practical at all times, giving us some insight which is very, very understandable to our heart and mind. But suddenly this sounds like some kind of very dogmatic statement. If you understand this, you get liberation. How is it? Is it so easy? Is it just understanding Purusha and Prakriti? You get liberated. Irrespective of what you are doing or how you are living, it does not matter. He says just understanding the understanding of the duality of the Purusha and Prakriti and their functioning can liberate you. Anybody. How do you think this can? Is it just some dogma we have to blindly believe because Krishna said so? Or is there something behind it?
One's got to experience it in order to believe it.
But I will not be able to come back and tell after death if I got a liberation. I will not be able to tell it to anybody. How will I understand this? That
You live
understanding
it,
Purusha and
don't you?
Prakriti. Yes, Jim?
You live it, and
Uh,
it's not going to come overnight unless you happen
so,
to
but
be the
how does the
lucky one.
understanding? It is like if I want to repair my bike, I need to understand the manual of working of my bike. But if I want to say do a completely unrelated thing, but I can't read the manual of, say I want to cultivate plants in the garden. Reading the manual of the bike will not help me, isn't it? To cultivate plants in
Hmm.
the garden. They look like apples and oranges, completely different things. So here
Hmm.
is Krishna talking about an understanding of Purusha and Prakriti. Elsewhere, he is just saying that that understanding which you get through maybe the mind. But we have also learned things are beyond the mind. So something will enter through the mind, and that thing is supposed to liberate me. How is that liberate me? What do you think could be the connecting link between the first line and the second line of the shloka? Or what difference will it make knowing the Purusha and Prakriti's duality? That way it might be easier to identify how will our life change if we recognize the Purusha and Prakriti, the
You don't
functioning
get
of
involved into things that
are
don't
trivial
matter,
or trivial, isn't it?
Yeah, triviality. You sort of observe, you become an
Yeah,
observer, you don't
yeah.
become involved and start living into things that,
Petty circles, petty quarrels,
yes,
petty
yes,
life
absolutely.
experiences of. I mean, if
Mm.
I just think I can, some people live their lives, isn't it? Trying to gather possessions continuously. Some people have interest for material possessions, accumulating a lot of material possessions. A friend of mine was explaining about how proud he is about his entire collection of shoes. But I mean, how many shoes can he wear at one time? That's a big question. But that's fine. That's his personal understanding of things. But I think when you understand that I can't really own everything in the world, or when we recognize that I really cannot own anything in this world because the real owner is the divine only, I have
Mm.
nothing. You become free, isn't it? Your direction of life changes. Becoming conscious of the divine allows us to become free. Our karma is automatically because what philosophy we live by, that philosophy influences our karma. And what karma we do, those karmas lead to consequences. So automatically, when you're aligned with this understanding that all right, what is happening in my life is not just in my control, it is but entirely in the control of the divine. The Purusha and Prakriti's game is unfolding. I am the witness. I have to participate whenever the moment comes, but I don't need to take ownership of the consequences. I just have to keep living sincerely, trying to understand the divine better. And voila, liberation is yours. That's what Krishna is saying. It has never been this easy, but easy in principle. If we practice it, it will become easy in practice as well. So let us see. Krishna goes on. The next shloka, he clarifies further. 24th shloka. He says, Dhyane natmani pashyanti kechit atmanam atmana anya sankhena yogena karma yogena chapare. By delving deep into the inner realms while meditation, or knowing the eternal self by the soul nature separation, or else by the yoga of dynamic action, one can gain the indwelling supreme's realization. So there are three ways Krishna is more clear, making it a little bit more simpler for us if this was looking a little abstract. First one, by delving deep into the inner realms while meditation, going deep into dhyana. Some experiences can come. It's at least worth trying. Sometimes we get some very nice experiences during meditation. Is there anybody who would like to share some experience during meditation which you've had with everybody else? Something you can share, something which is shareable, if anybody feels like sharing during meditation?
Sir, I feel like we are going in the air, like we don't know something is, your body is not there. You see something
Okay.
about,
Okay. You kind of means more than the physical, you suddenly relate to something which is maybe metaphysical, connecting
yes,
with
yes,
you are in a body and yet you
where you
begin
are
to
not in the
connect with
body, you are
something.
not body,
Okay.
you're in the air or something, you go somewhere.
Okay. That is one interesting experience Shantiji has shared. Yes, please. All right. Yes. Anybody else?
Yeah,
Okay. Pankaj,
one
yes,
thing
sir.
I have experienced, although I'm not good at meditation, I
Okay.
normally don't, surrender to, thing and like try to concentrate. I'm very poor at that. But couple of times when we tried, even last Saturday, when we tried this meditation, one thing I notice is that time passes very fast. I
Okay.
mean, when you open your eyes, your teacher says that it's already 9 minutes. And we feel like as if, यार अभी तो एक ही minute हुआ है शायद.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so that time it goes on very quickly. That's what I have realized. Other
Okay.
than that, I have not been able to like
Fine, sir.
uplift myself so far.
Yes, and I think, and one beautiful thing about meditation is we don't have to do it, it happens naturally. And I think Pankaj did experience what a natural meditation is. It happens, you don't realize it. And how Sir told about time being, it's like, what happened? Where did the time go? But 9 minutes, it seems like a minute. Well, these are all interesting experiences. So, by dhyana, that is why Krishna keeps telling us at different times to do dhyana. Shashi Mari wants to share something? Is it?
I just wanted to share that I'm talking about me, my personal
Okay. Yes.
view, that to find peace and to immerse you, meditation can be done with music, but depending on what kind of bhajans you listen to as well,
Yeah.
because it does calm you and it does it does lower you in a nice way, and
Okay.
it is a form of meditation in itself, like walking out in the air, walking in the
Yeah.
park, in the nature. That is a form of meditation as well. It's mindfulness, and you do
Yeah.
lose yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. You kind of relate to some things which are more than maybe the Gita shlokas
In
become more clearer that time, isn't it?
Absolutely, everything lifts from you.
Yeah.
The whole world lifts off you. That heaviness just goes away, however long it's
Yes.
for. And I think that's what
Yes.
helps us
So,
feel better.
absolutely. And what we gather in that meditation experience is something we have to carry in our life. We have to try to bring that into, when we carry it forward, it does influence our life tremendously. Anjali ji wants to share something. Okay.
The only meditation I've done is during the yoga sessions.
Okay, ji.
I do yoga every day, the Habil community yoga. And
Okay,
what
ji.
I felt is, as Shashiji also said, you tend to lose yourself. You feel so light and you feel like
Yes.
an observer standing outside and watching yourself, your
Yes.
body.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that's the time I do the maximum self introspection.
So lovely.
So
Exactly.
you get a
Exactly.
clearer,
And
so yeah, you get a clearer picture of things.
yes. So that
And
is why dhyana is important. Dhyana is good for giving us inner peace, also allowing us to get a higher realization, and we have to kind of build on what experiences we get. I had this habit of falling asleep while meditating and gone to my teacher and asked him, what should I do? He said, that's Yoga Nidra, don't worry, go to sleep. I really didn't believe that it is Yoga Nidra in my head. I was like, hey, I'm lazy and I'm falling asleep. But one day, one strange experience I got. I was doing Shavasana. But in that Shavasana, suddenly I felt like I am falling into some kind of pit. I didn't even realize what's happening. I was just progressing at a rapid speed, and suddenly in front of me, it was as if my own childhood as a baby, as a young man, and as an old man also, I just saw around me. And at that time, I saw it was as if God is keeping knowledge away from me. I didn't understand what is that. Knowledge is going to be away from you. That kind of feeling I got. It was a crazy experience, which was not really something I could understand. But I woke up in tears and then I was happy also that, wow, God is blocking me from knowledge. That is something very special. Maybe there might be a purpose. There might be a moment where I will understand, or maybe the blocking come away someday. But whatever it is, this ability to, come out of everyday general experiences through dhyana, we can try to become free. People who get cranky all the time, or sometimes have very disturbed relations with others, or have, some people are extremely restless. They cannot sit in one place at all. And it is sometimes they have to take medicines to just calm themselves down. And over execution of adrenaline, maybe. But even such individuals, when they do dhyana, slowly, they might be able to transform. That is one thing. That's why Krishna talked about one way is delving deep into the inner dreams during meditation. The second, or by knowing the eternal self by the soul nature separation, meaning this separation of the soul in Prakriti, the Jivatman and the Paramatman, Prakriti inside, just by understanding that inside of me it is important to understand, not just mentally, just project mentally or think about, but actually understanding, getting an experience of that supreme divine sitting inside of me, and the limitation of Prakriti, and yet the supremeness of the divine in a limited world through that understanding also. Or else by the yoga of dynamic action. This is something which appeals to a lot of people who are believing in the firm principle of action alone. They feel I'll keep doing great deeds, I'll keep doing good deeds so that it will become one day a mountain of good deeds and I will get what I deserve. They focus on doing action. Whichever of these modes, Krishna is saying, one can gain the indwelling supreme's realization. In Buddhism, there is something called accumulation of virtue. An imaginary vessel is there. And they say every time you do a good deed, one drop fills that vessel. You have to do so many good deeds that one day that vessel will start overflowing, and that overflowing of vessel will allow so many other people to receive that light from you, and you yourself will get transformed. You will get that taste of what is the Ananda. So, but for that, little by little, like they say, many drops make an ocean. Like that, through karma, continuously keep doing, keep doing, keep doing. This aspect, Krishna says, three ways are there by which the realization can be got.
So, Jay,
Yes,
I just
yes, sir.
want to add two things.
Yes,
So
sir.
this meditation technique, one of it, I practice reflection. Either when you are going to bed or when you get up in the morning, you try to recall what you did in last 24 hours. So
Yeah,
in the process, you realize when you do this exercise, what was the time I wasted and I should not have wasted, and where I should be focusing on, and how you
wow.
can be a better person,
Yes, sir.
reflecting
Yes,
back.
sir.
And sometimes, you fight for trivial things, or
Yes, sir.
you realize that that was not required. The other technique is called Nishpanda Bhava, where you actually are sitting
The
very
second is called
quietly.
this
Nishpanda Bhava.
Nishpanda.
Nishpanda Bhava.
Okay.
So you are sitting in a quiet room with your back firmly on the wall, and you are closing your eyes, your legs are relaxed, your hands are relaxed, and you are just focused on the sound. So suppose now I am sitting in the room, and then there may be a truck going, rickshaw going, or aeroplane going, or a fan moving. After some time, when you are just focused on the sound without analyzing whether it is aeroplane or whether it is rickshaw, or that, you start to hear, after some time, you just start to realize your own breath only, and you are forgetting everything, and your head becomes really light.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. Thank you. That was wonderful. Actually, this is the importance of introspection. We have to do that. We have to go, and there are different ways. I think in Marathi they call it Simhavalokan. If there is this word which is like a lion, no? When a lion walks a few steps, then lion turns back and looks at how like what are the steps that have been taken, something like that. What are the actions that you have done? This is actually very important if we can do that. And some people even maintain a diary of their dreams. Even in their dreams, they would like to note down and identify patterns, and then not only do they get certain hidden understandings, they understand a lot of occult truths also. So it's important to have some time out to observe, and probably that's why Krishna gave us techniques of meditation. There are different techniques, but all of these, Krishna says, these are all worth. Try it, he says. Do that. because that will free you, and not just free you in life, free you from the trivial troubles of life, but maybe in the afterlife also, liberate you completely.
Krishnaji,
Yes, yes.
sorry. I would like to share that, yeah, when you mentioned dreams, I was like
Yeah.
hesitating to say it, but yes, I get a lot of dreams, and then, some things which are going to happen in future also I can see.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And
what we can say.
it
Introduction
so
of clairvoyance, some
yeah.
moments.
So
Okay.
I just sometimes they are really scary.
Yeah.
So I would like to
Completely.
forget them because
No, that
I
is
would like to
fine.
live in the current
Yes,
kshan,
yes,
the
yes.
pulse.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
and that is why I get scared of doing meditation, because when I
No,
start
no, no, that is
meditating
not,
also there
yeah.
are so many things that come to the mind,
Hmm.
and some
Yeah, yeah.
the fear is there that whatever things are coming may actually turn into reality. So
Okay, yes, yes. So I
I
think
get
one
really
thing,
scared sometimes, yeah, to do this
yeah,
meditation. So I don't do
we
it anymore.
okay, okay. Now somebody told they don't do japa because they are connected with something of their past life, and this particular mantra triggers those memories. That person
Hmm.
took I think 3 4 years, but just yesterday I saw that person's status update. It is having the same mantra which that person had told that that mantra is not. So maybe it could be a phase because the subconscious world is also a very interesting thing. Some of these lower experiences, and there are some higher experiences. Like you can see
Yeah.
divine also. Sometimes you see undivine things also in your dreams. We got to
Yeah, like
learn to
some
filter.
days ago, I would shared in our group only that
Yeah.
I'm my daughter had got a cat which was hurt,
Okay.
and I
Yeah.
was getting upset because she was supposed to try for a job
Okay.
and she was neglecting and then I had a
Yes. Yes.
dream where
Yeah.
it was a nice one that
Okay. Yes,
Baba
yes.
explained to me that it is important that she looks out.
Yeah.
So I was
Yes.
quiet. So that is a very nice thing which I have noted in my
Yeah.
diary.
No,
But
but
not
let us
all
not.
dreams are like
No,
that.
let
Yeah.
us. Yeah, yeah. We'll come to your point. I think
Yeah,
Amprakash sir wants to add something.
yeah,
After
sure.
he adds, we will come to your. But fear is not needed is something we should know because even the Vishwarupa has told that. As
Yes.
Sant Ramdas Swami also, Bhavacha Bhaya Kaya Bhito Salandi. Why are you afraid
Mm.
of what's going to happen in the future when you have the divine, you're holding the divine on your, on your highest pedestal. You are having love for that. So anyway, let's come to you in a moment. Prakash ji, yes, sir?
No, I just wanted to share my experience, maybe
Yes, sir.
different. Actually, normally I get up in the 4 o'clock morning
Okay, sir.
and I try to go into the meditation. But when you
Yes,
go
sir.
for meditation, thoughts come and go.
Yes,
And
sir.
what they say that उनको सबको साक्षी भाव से देखो मतलब
Yes.
let them come and let them go actually. You don't
Yes.
try to stop them.
Yes.
And so
Yes.
then slowly, you then try to, they come, but then they
Yes.
don't stay more. But what I found that, in the morning, when you are engraved with some intricate problem, I have seen
Yes.
that after doing that meditation, no, yes, something comes and you get solutions to those problems,
Wow.
intricate
Absolutely, sir.
problems. That is, I am
Oh,
my very much experienced, I have seen. So
okay.
in the morning, I get always solutions to my problems. I mean,
Wow,
and
sir.
they are all lateral, which are
Yeah.
not straight answers, but they do
Okay.
come, and that is what I
Inferential.
have really experienced.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
sir, for
I
sharing
I
your.
don't know how it correlates.
Right,
I
very
mean,
much. I'll just tell you,
but this is
it
what my
correlates 100. Maybe even if there is something beyond 100%, it correlates that much because two very nice points Om Prakash ji has shared. One is something about early in the morning. That is what we call the Brahma Muhurta. That is the best time to receive all the auspicious thoughts from various places, and that is something which is nice. We can all try that. We should probably be able to, if depending on our routines. But this aspect of finding in difficult moments, when you become quiet, just as the difficult moments have come from somewhere, we have also the same place which is sending us difficult moments, the solutions to those moments also. We can probably get an understanding. And the second aspect about Sir talking about looking at them as a sakshi or a witness,
Mm.
that should allow us to not get attached or by what we see, good or bad. Damleji's father had told him a very nice statement about, he said, in the dreams, you will see God, you will see Rakshasas also. Don't listen to both of them. Let them come down in real life, then we will deal with them. Let the divine manifest. Why are you coming in dreams? Call him. Okay, you're coming in dream, now come in real life. Let me get the experience. And there are people who have got the experience. This is not just some kind of wishful thinking. There are people who have got experience. I remember one very difficult moment also where we were cops and there were the cops were about to arrest me for a crime I have never done. It was all such a very surreal experience. And they had come from another city, another state, and it was all so, and for somebody who has never done anything to experience such a thing. But at that time also suddenly one person had a phone and the phone had a ringtone of Krishna's Basuri. And that Basuri was enough to give such quietude, and immediately it turned out to be a false thing. And but what I'm saying is, we get moments where we get omens, we get directions. All we have to do is observe everything. Observe, as Sir has told. Alpanaji, I think you should try meditating without really worrying about what is good or what is bad. It is a meditation session. Sometimes from the subconscious, like they say, Shervinda says, dirt from the subconscious also comes out sometimes, but sometimes
Hmm.
from the higher or the supreme higher regions which are beyond the mind, the intuitive of planes, because you are probably receptive, you are identifying certain things of sometimes you're getting from the intuitive plane also. From what you said, that if sometimes you're getting only, we don't have to get attached to that also. Otherwise, we start thinking we have got a, and drishti, and then we run
Hmm.
after that. That is also a trap. So both can be looked at passively, Ji. But do not
Yeah, I
stop
agree
at
with
least.
Prakash ji that, sometimes I do get solutions also very clearly to my
Yeah, yeah,
problems.
yeah. But
Yes,
let us
100%.
not
But
leave.
the
Let us
fear
not
is
leave.
sometimes there for
No, no.
some
Let us
weird
not.
things,
Yeah, no, no.
which
Let us not
yeah,
leave that. Let us
unrelatable.
not. Let us. What is the worst that can happen? My life can end. Well, Krishna is going to end it when he wants to anyway. Why am I bothered about it? I don't need to worry about anything worse than
Hmm.
that. And dhyana, because Krishna has told me, if we really are having Shraddha in Krishna and we're not really having any doubts in the divine, well, let's follow his advice, isn't it, Ji? Dhyana
Yes,
should not be left aside, but let us see later on. We will look
yes,
at
I
it. Let's
agree with your
continue.
point that the cleansing is there. The bhaya, the mal
Yes,
has to
Ji.
first come out. I agree completely.
Yes, yes, Ji.
I
Yes, Ji.
understand that perspective now clearly when
Yes, Ji.
you say
Yes,
it.
Ji.
So
Surely,
could
Ji.
be that is the reason. Yeah.
Yes, Ji. And it settles down after a while. Settles down after a while.
Yes, yes,
Absolutely. Let's
yes.
continue. Yes, Ji. Hari Om. So,
Hari
Krishna says, Anye अन्ये त्व एवम् अजानन्तः श्रुत्वान्येभ्य उपासते तेऽपि चाति तरन्त्येव मृत्युं श्रुतिपरायणाः. But those who are ignorant and do not know of the ways, of the paths, or which path to go, when to the knower they listen and follow with devotion, whichever of these paths is tread, immortal is their destination. Krishna says that there are those who are ignorant and do not know. They don't know which path to go, which way. Because in Marathi there's another. I remember this nice statement. Vithala koncha jhenda gheo hati. Because there are so many flags. He's calling God only, asking him, please guide me. Which flag should I take? So many. Each one is saying it is good and this is going to lead to this. It is like now in Pondicherry we have election season. All the parties look like they are directly from Indraloka only. They are going to grant everything good for the people. Everybody is conversing that way. So sometimes people don't know which path to I tread. And there is sometimes a very big pain when you do not know. And when you realize you do not know, it's not really a fun situation. I remember I used to cry and my parents thought I'm going through depression because they didn't know what's going on. And then I stuck Shiv Tanda Stotra on the bureau, and they thought, what's going on? And actually, they thought, why is he now praying what Ravana would sing? What is his? I had actually asked, I want one role, some role. Give me negative role also. It's okay, but give me some role. I don't know what to do. Where do I go? But then afterwards, by God's grace, I got united with My guru gave me some direction to go ahead, and then he showed which path I have to walk, and then he said, you have to walk that path on your own now. But this aspect of not knowing, this is true, Krishna says. And it's all right, he says, even if you don't know which path to go, sometimes there are so many paths. He says, when to the knower, they listen and follow with devotion. Listen, he says, listen to the knower. Who is the supreme knower? Who is the
Lord
Kshetrajna?
Krishna.
It's Lord Krishna, and he can speak through anybody. Sant Jnaneshwar said it can speak through a buffalo, and he showed it to the world that the divine could utter from there also the words of the Vedas. So, if that is the case, you just have to keep your ears open. You can listen. You might even, in a very silent place, you might suddenly start hearing the truths of the divine. You will hear omens, you will hear sounds, or you might find somebody who is going to tell you the way to go. That is all. It's all right if you don't know. Just realize, understand you don't know, aspire to know. Krishna says, then you listen with devotion, you will find the path. And whichever path you tread, that path is going to be the supreme path. That path will lead to that immortal destination of the Brahman. That is in assurance, Krishna has said. Meaning, all those who seek will surely find. So, seeking is important, and we have to be sincere in our pursuit. Well, the destination is yours. Krishna goes
So
on.
so just one clarification.
Yes, ji.
Purusha and Prakriti together constitute Brahman. Is it?
Yeah, the Brahman is the principle of the Brahman. Yes, they are together, part of the same Brahman only.
Okay.
And Purusha is also called as Brahman separately also. Like it is a interesting, the division is made by us for our
That is why
understanding.
I was like whether the
Yeah, it
Purusha is
is.
the Brahman or Purusha and
No,
Prakriti.
because if you see in the Vedas, no, when Purusha is referred to, the stuti of the Purusha is being done, that time we call Purusha as the Brahman only.
Brahman, huh.
But I
Okay.
mean, in Advaita Vedanta, it is actually non-duality. We can say everything is one. So in principle, you can probably distinguish it as like this is my right hand, this is my left hand. But
And in these
yes,
the previous few verses where we are
yeah,
talking about the two
yeah. So
parts.
here, so if you see earlier, Krishna talked about Kavim Puranam Manusasitaram, that you are that supreme one, supreme divine, as the what the Purushas talk as the I mean what the Puranas talk about you as the Purana Purusha, all that there in the earlier shlokas, we saw Purusha to be the supreme Brahman. But in
Brahman.
this chapter, we are seeing when you look at in the principle, the inert principle is called Purusha, and the active
Right.
component is called Prakriti.
Yeah. Okay.
And both are functioning in tandem only, together.
Right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ji. Hari Om ji. Krishna goes on in the 26th shloka. Yavat sanjayate kinchit sattvam sthavara jangamam kshetra kshetrajna sanyogat tadvidhi bharatar shabha. O Arjuna, every being living on this earth, moving or non-moving, however, maybe their birth, are caused by the field and its supreme knower's union, as all entities are born in their communion. So every living being is participating in this world as a living entity. However that person may be, however that life form may be, whether it is a mobile form or an immobile form, it could be a tree, it could be an animal, it could be a human, it could be a microscopic entity, whatever it is, they are all caused by this field and the supreme knowers functioning or entering into the field. The supreme divine has entered into the field and brought about the manifestation. If you see something very interesting I do not know if anybody is there who has studied embryology. When they talk about the fusion of the sperm and ovum, that time also there's like a light which is released. A light is there. How different is this light from that light which was in the light of the Srishti, creation? And then the embryo is formed and the entire, we can say, differentiation and growth and furthering of consciousness takes place. So something like that, we see here that whatever existence is there in the world, it is taking place by the confluence of the Purusha and Prakriti. So we look at one more shloka and we will stop at the 27th shloka. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyatsva avinashyantam yaha pashyati saha pashyati. Seated within all life forms is the One Supreme, residing equally in all beings of the mortal realm. In a perishable frame, the indestructible dwells to be. Whoever can thus see, he is the one who can truly see. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram. With balance, with samatha, with oneness, if you can see that this Parameshwara is present in all life forms. Krishna is saying, if you are able to see, he is present in not only in you, he is present in that person who is cursing you also. If you can see that with oneness, Krishna says, then, and we can recognize that how in this perishable frame of a human body, inside of that perishable frame, the imperishable is present. Then he says, you have seen the truth or you have understood the highest truth. Yaha pashyati saha pashyati. He who sees, that person truly sees. We will see that often now in the Gita, Krishna using this. Yaha pashyati saha pashyati. Just what do you mean by this? For somebody who sees, that person alone sees. Literally translating, Ya Pashyati, Sa Pashyati. Everybody's got eyes, isn't it? And everybody who has functional eyes, they can see, isn't it?
It's not saying with the just
Physical eye.
Physical eyes. It's totally, it settles
Yeah,
deep into you that,
Okay.
the person you're seeing, it's like saying namaste. When you know the meaning,
Yeah.
whenever you greet somebody, once it's enter your head, you're bowing
Yeah.
to another soul.
Yeah.
That
Namahate.
kind of
Namahate
thing.
Brahman. That Brahma which is present inside of you. Namaste.
Yes.
Okay. Indeed.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. All right. Anjali ji is adding something. Is it?
No, I just said the inner eye.
Yeah. The Jnana Chakshu. We can see from the inner eye because sometimes I think a friend of mine, we had a very nice conversation, and I just gave an example of one very nice example which my physics teacher had told in 11th standard. He said, "Hey, when was this told? I don't remember this ever happened." And I said, "Yes, you were. I remember this specifically." He said, "This never happened." And we both were like, he said, "You are making it up." I said, "I'm not making it up." Luckily, we found one more person from our group. He said, "Yes, this had happened." So now what happened to that individual who said he never heard it? He was there, he was seeing, but he was daydreaming. So he missed it, and according to him, that moment never took place. But sometimes we go through life daydreaming only, without really seeing things in front of us. So many moments are there. Sometimes Krishna only comes to tell us, you're wrong, go this way, don't change your route, course correct. We say, yeah, not now, I'm busy. Not now. That time our eyes are not functional and physical eyes are not so important. People who are not having the ability to see also can see the truth. They don't need physical eyes to see the truth. Truth is something else. Yes. Dr. Nandikeshwar, wants to add something? Yes, sir?
Yeah, yeah. So I think what I understood from the shloka is that all of us are perishable, and within us lives somebody who is unperishable, which is Lord Krishna, and he is watching us also and watching things around us also.
Yes, sir. He's like a Sakshi. There's one, just this Shiva and Shakti, this one, how they function together. No? A small poem I had written, I'll share that in the group. If you see, it is just a personified dialogue between Shiva and Shakti. It is how Shiva is lost in the trance. Shakti is feeling left out, and she wants him to, listen and she tries to meditate so deeply on Shiva, and yet he is not coming out of the trance at all because he is there in that supreme, what we can say, Brahmanad only. He's experiencing that. And then Shakti begins performing a dance around him, a celestial dance. And that dance, yes, and that dance of Shakti suddenly spreads, spreads light and which falls in different parts of the world, and there life begins to thrive. Yet Shiva is not waking up from the trance. Finally, Shakti bows to Shiva and says, please wake up from that trance. And then Shiva opens his eyes and then he says, you and I are one. You are not two, but we are one. He tells her, incomplete I am without you. Or you incomplete you are without me, and I am unexpressed without you. That is the duality, the relation. Somebody had written something similar about Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, Divine Mother. Is the spiritual collaborator of Sri Aurobindo who led to the creation, made the Auroville founded the principle of what we can say a beautiful practical experiment of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam of how humanity can live. So his principles she manifested, something like that. The principles of the divine that are being manifested. The Purusha's ideals are manifested in the practical by Prakriti. This is their role, is what we can see Krishna talking about. So I think with this we are ready to conclude our session today. If somebody wishes to ask or share something, you are welcome. Or if somebody wants to give your takeaways, it would be wonderful. Yes, please. Yes, Anjali ji? Yeah.
My takeaway from today's class is this: the Purusha, the creative spirit, and Prakriti, the manifesting spirit, how their functioning can be liberating. How we don't have to take ownership of the
Yes.
consequences of our actions.
Yes.
That's so liberating.
It's liberating.
In fact, that the
Blame
supreme-
Prakriti. Ahankar is there inside of me. This is influence of Prakriti. I'll try to take it out. I will become a more humble person. I will try to course correct. But understand this individual consciousness, all these things, feeling that I am so great. This is not fully my fault. It is part of Prakriti. I have to overcome it. Because I am not doing anything. When you realize it, your Ahankar disappears actually. When you're not the doer, you're just a small instrument in a big. But in mechanical engineering, we also understand something very like just we don't have to give importance only to the big aspects. The smallest aspects also are what we call linkages. They are very important in a mechanism. You remove the linkage, the entire mechanism will fall apart. So Arjuna need not think he is hopeless or nothing. When Krishna says, I don't need you, but he needs an instrument. And right now Arjuna is chosen, so he is equally important as an instrument for manifesting the divine will. So it is one way we can not, we can say, become too egoistic, but at the same time, we need not be following principle of,
supreme divines.
yeah.
Yes. Supreme divines inside me.
Yes, that is also one. That's a great confidence, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
what
I know.
more?
There's
What
a lot
more?
of confidence.
Yeah, it's all right. My
without-
body has limitations. I understand my body has limitations. I know I'm limited. I have a nature which is sometimes I get scared. Sometimes I have different emotions. I get emotional. I get sad. I get happy. All those emotions are going on. They are mine. Yet there is something which is beyond all of this, and that is the supreme divine whom I worship, and that divine is not so far away from me. And I too am not so far away because he's here inside. It gives us
like
a
the
great
UPS.
freedom. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, stabilizer,
Like the
indeed.
UPS.
Yes, it stabilizes us from the shocks of life. Everybody gets shocks in life. It's like that nobody can escape. We can today onwards we know whom to blame. Prakriti
Yeah.
Prakriti Maji is causing all of this. Vikara, everything, it's not really but we have to learn to bear it because we can't fry ourselves completely because of the shocks. Right. That was a nice point, Anjali ji. Yes.
Yeah. I'll add
Yes.
something here.
Yes, sir.
The Shloka number 24.
Ji, sir.
where he talks about 3 ways
Yeah,
that, ek to dhyan, he's talking about meditation.
yeah,
Second, he's talking about gyan, knowledge.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
third, he's talking about karma.
Right, right.
So all these 3 things, if you actually get in your practice, any one of them, can get you to the highest level,
Yes,
and they would know the tattva gyan of
yes,
this higher divine.
absolutely. Yes, I think Pankaj has made a wonderful point. I mean, he equating it with three marga, jnana, karma, and bhakti. Each of these, anyone. But if we know anyone, it is like, imagine if all three are practiced by us. That's like a certainty, isn't it? Let
Yeah,
us, with jnana, karma, and bhakti, let me try to be as knowledgeable as I can. Let me worship and the divine knowledge. Let that knowledge enter into me. Let me grow
yeah,
in knowledge. Let me also, while growing in knowledge, let my karma also start getting the light of that knowledge and let my karmas become greater. So it
right.
will again become like what is a lamp can become a divine inferno also. When the bhakti is also is equally, let my bhakti grow further. I love the divine, I adore the divine, but let me learn to love and adore the divine more. I
Yeah.
mean, if this is a never ending, it can
So
become.
out of
Yes,
all 3, we
yes, sir.
personally, me and my wife,
Yeah.
we try to implement the third one, that is karma.
Bhakti. Karma. Okay.
Karma. So
All right.
karma in that category, we try to do as good as possible without hurting anybody.
And as much as
That
possible.
as much as possible, and
Yeah.
our karma should not hurt anybody. That's the point we make.
Yes. And that is
So
important to do to that as much as possible. We must not hurt because it is like sometimes if you are walking on the path of light and somebody wants to walk on the path of darkness,
yeah,
it is like it is like fire and ice combination.
right,
You will not want to consciously hurt somebody, but your very existence for breathing and living only can become a source of hurt to someone. At such times, we are not really responsible. We should
right,
not be harsh on ourselves also. But if we are sincere and as much as we can, because who knows how many days we've got.
exactly.
Everybody should live long, but we don't know. So let us try to make the most of it, whatever life has
Right.
been given. Yes, sir.
Gee.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Ji, ji. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So that was one wonderful point, and that's nice. That shloka is Krishna is giving us 3 paths, and it is all up to the individual. Actually, the choice of an individual. No? It is a nature. One
Yeah.
cannot enforce somebody to walk on this path alone. Some people may not like anything in the Upanishads at all. They say, "I don't understand the Upanishad at all." It's all right. Your karma will become the greatest. One day, somebody might write an Upanishad inspired by your karma only. Do your karma so well. Same way with bhakti. It comes naturally. You can't enforce on anybody. But one of the ways we have to walk to become free.
Yeah.
That is something. Without
Absolutely.
that,
Yeah.
without that, we have to experience the suffering of life, which is not necessary. That is not necessary to experience.
Yeah. There are
So
ways to
yes,
get out of it. Yeah.
yes, absolutely. So I think with this we conclude our session today. Let's conclude with a Shanti mantra. Hari Om. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् हरि ओम् तत्सत् कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम् हरि ओम्
Hari Om.
Dhanyavad ji.
Hari
Thank
Om.
you.
Hari Om.
Bye.
हरि
Thank you,
ओम्
Sushil.
Thank you.
Hari Om.
हरि ओम्
Good night, Sushruti.
Have a good day, Ji. Thank you, Ji. Good night.